Hello and welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm Arahi and I absolutely love makeup, but ooh la 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 la, I adore fragrances. So today's video is all about summer fragrances. I went through my entire collection and I picked out 12, guys. 12 fragrances that I think are perfect for the summer and that I highly recommend that you add to your fragrances collection unless you already have them or you've already tried them and you decided that you don't like them. Anyway, if that sounds like a plan for you, going over 12 fragrances with me today, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so first and foremost, I want to tell you guys that I have not ranked these fragrances. I just went through all of the fragrances in my collection that were either specific to summer or that could be used all throughout the year and that I think are really good for the summer. Also fragrances that I have been using during summer seasons in past years, or fragrances that I tested last year but just picked up this year for this summer season. In any event, I will be sharing with you notes and I will be giving you my feelings about each fragrance. But before we get started, guys, we have to address the elephant in the room. Now, you guys know that there is no summer fragrances video without talking about two fragrances. I have not included them in the list of 12 that I'm going to share with you. But I am going to do an honorary or very special mention at the beginning of the video so we can just get them out of the way. Also, guys, I want you to know that, as always, I've added timestamps because this could be a bit of a lengthy video. I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible, not get into too much detail. But I've added timestamps in case you just want to jump, to any part of the video to look at a specific fragrance. So let's go ahead and get started. And of course, you guys know what two fragrances these are. But the first fragrance that we're going to talk about really quick, just an honorary mention. Please don't come for me, okay? But guys, we really just need to say that this fragrance is special. Baccarat 540. And I'm sure you guys can see that there is a pretty good dent in this bottle. Now, guys, this is a really, really nice fragrance. I love it. I know many people feel all kinds of way. This is a very polarizing fragrance at this point. I get it, but I really do love it. And honestly, guys, I use it all throughout the year. I layer the heck out of that fragrance. So anyway, just had to mention it, just honorary mention. The second fragrance I'm sure you guys know is going to, of course, be Delina Exclusive. So of course, guys, you know that I had to mention this fragrance. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance for spring, summer. I really don't use this one much during fall. I really do prefer to use it during spring and summer, but this is really one of those beautiful fragrances that's become an icon, a classic that we always have to discuss. So Delina Exclusive. I have the original also, but I really prefer the Exclusive. Anyway. All right, guys, so we have those two fragrances out of the way. So now we can leisurely move on to the other 12 fragrances. So guys, this first fragrance, I have talked about this fragrance in a couple of videos in the past. I have another fragrance video that I did months ago. I can't even remember what the topic was, but I know that I shared. It was something like my iconic fragrances or the classics or, in my collection or something like that. But I did talk about this fragrance and I want to start this video with this fragrance because this is truly an icon in my collection. I highly recommend this fragrance. I will be sharing notes of all the fragrances so that in case you don't like one of the notes, then you know that maybe you should get a sample, you can't blind buy it, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, so all right guys, so the first fragrance that I'm going to recommend for summer is definitely one of my favorite fragrances, period. I've talked about this fragrance in a couple of videos, and I think I did a video on like my classics or iconics within my fragrance collection, and this fragrance was my #1 fragrance. This is Tygar from Bulgari. Now, this fragrance, guys, let me tell you, let me give you the notes of this fragrance. So it's grapefruit, ginger, patchouli, vetiver, musk, and ambrox. And I have to tell you that this fragrance was developed by Jacques Cavalier. And I'm sure if you're a fragrance lover, you know that Jacques Cavalier has worked with so many fragrance houses and so many fashion designers. He's responsible for some of the fragrances created by Tom Ford, by Fendi, by Louis Vuitton, by Maison, and my gosh, the list goes on and on and on. So that should give you a good idea of how special this fragrance is. I don't think that all of the fragrances within La Gemme collection, which is the collection off of Bulgari that this fragrance is a part of, I don't think that he is the nose behind all of the fragrances, but I know for a fact that he's definitely behind this one. And La Gemme collection stands for like gemstones, right? So these are precious stones, and this one, as you can see here, is representing a tiger's eye. Right, and the gem Tiger Eye is said to be one of those gems that when you're wearing it, it connects you with the vibrations of the sun and of earth. So this is a very, very special fragrance. Now, I can tell you guys that the projection, oh my goodness, I just love this fragrance so much. The projection on this fragrance, I would say it's about 2-3 feet. And that's one of the things that I like about it, because this is a very strong fragrance. It's not a beast. It's not a beast, guys. Most of the fragrances that I'm talking about today are not beasts to me, okay? Because when I say beast, I'm telling you, you're going to have to do psh, psh, and move on. But these fragrances are not a beast because I typically don't like to wear beast fragrances during the summer because it tends to be very warm, kind of hot, and I don't want to go somewhere and make, you know, everybody feel like they're about to suffocate with a fragrance that I have on that's pretty strong. But this fragrance is strong. You can overspray it. You can definitely do that. And I find that people will start to smell me within 2 to 3 feet when I'm wearing this fragrance. And I can also tell you that this has a superb depth, which means that the journey of the fragrance, there are some changes in the journey, but the dry down, I can almost smell all of the notes that they talk about in the dry down. So it has a very, very good depth. Now, the other thing is, how long does it last on me? I can tell you that I could get a pretty good 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, depending on how much I spray with this fragrance. This is the type of fragrance that if I'm going to an event during the summer and it starts in the afternoon and it goes into the evening, I wear this fragrance. And guys, it makes me feel so fabulous, so sophisticated. Oh my goodness, this is just one of those fragrances in your collection that not everybody's aware of this fragrance. You're not going to get this smell just about anywhere. This is a really opulent fragrance, and it's a fragrance that smells rich. This is not even about wealth. This is about you smell like a rich person. And I can also tell you that I've had a couple of friends who have told me that, well, that fragrance is designed for men. I've told you that I'm more into unisex fragrances. This to me is really truly a unisex. I know several ladies that swear by this fragrance and we all love it and we won't stop using it. So I think that this is a fragrance that men and women can definitely use, and it's a fragrance that will get you noticed, and people will want to know who you are and why you are where you are, if you know what I mean. Anyway, Tygar from Bulgari. All right, so next we're going from one of my heavy hitters to another one of the fragrances that I absolutely love. Now, this is a little bit different because this is not as strong and it doesn't make as bold of a statement as Tygar does, right? But this definitely is a fragrance that holds its own court within my fragrance collection. Diptyque Air Rose Parfum. Now, guys, I'm sure that you can see here the serious use that I give this fragrance, okay? This fragrance is a fragrance that is all about roses. Let me give you the notes before we start. So we have here chamomile, lychee, and we have two types of roses. We have Damascena and we have centifolia. Now, there's also an olfactory accident note here, which, are you ready? It's artichoke. But there is something about this fragrance. This is not your regular simple rose fragrance. It really just has those notes, and I can really smell those notes every time I wear this fragrance. This is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. If you're into roses, now I will also tell you, I love rose fragrances, but I don't love all rose fragrances. But this one I absolutely love. But if you're not into rose fragrances, you're not going to like this fragrance because this is really all about roses. And every single note in the fragrance just emphasizes that strong rose note. This is like the smell. This is what it smells like to me. I'm just going to tell you. So when you have red roses in your home and they've been sitting in a vase for about 2-3 days and they've had a chance to, if there were any buds, they have now opened and bloomed, and the roses have been sitting there, and there's like a sweet smell that comes out of the rose once the rose has bloomed and has matured, and it's really that deep red. There's a smell in the air. That's this fragrance. That is this fragrance. This is a classic rose smell. This is not, and I hate to say this because I hate it when people say things like this about rose fragrances or fragrances in general, but this is not like a grandma rose fragrance. This is definitely a true rose scent, but it is a smell that carries, right? And speaking of carrying, let me tell you in my notes here. So when it comes to sillage, like if I'm somewhere, right, and I'm wearing this fragrance, and I'm going to tell you where I typically wear this fragrance because this is not a fragrance that I just wear out all the time. So if let's say I'm in the house and I'm wearing this fragrance, I can tell you that once I walk away, there is a sillage that will last probably a good half hour. And this fragrance, I definitely overspray. This is a very light, airy fragrance. It's not overpowering. You can layer. Something that I really like to do with this fragrance is take this fragrance, apply it, and then use one of my Mancera vanilla fragrances. Oh my goodness, it's a powerhouse. I've even tried using my Siberian Rose from Dubois, from Fragrance Dubois, and mixed it with this one because if you have Siberian Rose, you know there's an animalic note in there, and I tend to control it a little bit because I'm not into animalic notes. And the animalic note in Siberian Rose is pretty strong, in my opinion, at least on my skin it is. So I spray a little bit of this, and it kind of dilutes that animalic note a little bit, and it makes it so delicious. So the last thing that I want you to know is that, you know, not only is this a true rose fragrance, guys, but it's like they took everything from the rose. The buds, the stems, the leaves, the blooming bud of the rose, everything was thrown in there, and that's how they created this fragrance. This is, if not the top seller of Diptyque, it is right there at the top with, I forget the name of the other one, but I really think that this is still their best seller, period. Anyway, Ile de Rose from Diptyque. All right, guys, so this next fragrance is from a fragrance house that if you have not heard about them, I don't know where you've been. But if you have not tried one of their fragrances, I am encouraging you today to try them. I'm planning to film a video at some point about all of the Micallef fragrances that I have in my collection. But I have to tell you, this one right here, this fragrance is so absolutely beautiful. This is an amber floral fragrance. But what I love about this fragrance is there is a smoothness, there is an elegance to it. I definitely overspray it. This is not a beast fragrance in any way, shape, or form. It was not designed to be a beast fragrance. In my opinion, this fragrance really captures and truly represents pretty accurately the DNA of the Micallef fragrance house. It is an absolutely stunning bottle, but guys, the stunningness of the bottle is not commensurate with the incredible juice inside. This is an absolutely exquisitely blended fragrance. I have never honestly seen anything like it. But again, most if not all, I can only think of one fragrance that I feel that the depth is not strong from Micallef, and I can't remember the name because I didn't pick it up. But all the other fragrances that I have in my collection from Micallef, honestly guys, the blend is exquisite. So let me tell you, so the notes are geranium. There's several citruses. Of course, it's called Ylang Ylang and Gold. So it's Ylang Ylang, sandalwood, vanilla, and coconut. Now, if you're not a coconut lover, let me tell you that the note of coconut here is so well blended that to me, it just becomes something else. I can very lightly pick up on the coconut, but it's not something that if you're not a coconut lover, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, no, I really don't like this fragrance because I can smell the coconut, or I can sense that coconut, or there's a strong tone of coconut behind some of the notes. No, this, when I tell you that this is perfectly blended, it is perfectly blended. The fragrance has a journey, but the depth is so strong, as in all of the notes and tones are so well blended that for me, the journey is pretty consistent from beginning to end. So anyway, guys, I highly recommend this fragrance. This is for an elegant summer. This is if you're going to an outdoor wedding during the summer. If you're going to an outdoor event, this is the perfect fragrance for that. If you're going to a dinner and you're wearing something white and flowy, or you're wearing a kaftan and it's flowy and it's beautiful and you just want to feel like the goddess for the summer, this is a fragrance for you. Micallef, Ylang and Gold. So now I want to move on to another heavy hitter for the summer that we're all aware of. I figured since I covered Micallef's Ylang and Gold, let's just move straight into Bond number 9, Greenwich Village. So I'm sure that if you're a fragrance lover, this does not come as a surprise for you guys, because this fragrance is known to be one of those fragrances that you must have in your collection for the summer. This is an exquisite fragrance. Oh my goodness. It is so beautiful. So this incredible fragrance is considered a sweet amber floral fragrance. And let me tell you what the notes are. The notes are lychee, mandarins, peony, water lily, jasmine, ambroxan, praline, vanilla, musk, and oak moss. I can tell you that I get a projection of about 2 feet with this fragrance. So it's not like, it's not like you're in this room and someone is walking into the room at a distance and they're going to start to smell you, which again, I appreciate for the summer season. I really don't want to do that during the summer because again, it can be kind of stuffy and humid and hot in certain places, and you just don't want that. That's just my opinion. But I will tell you, it does have a moderate sillage. It's not the type of fragrance that if you hug someone and you're wearing it, they're going to smell your fragrance on them. It has a moderate sillage, so as you walk away, people will typically get like a whiff of your smell, of your fragrance, right? But I would say within 15 minutes, it's pretty much, you know, settled and we're good. It's gone. The last thing that I did want to talk about is that even though this fragrance has a moderate sillage, it is definitely a fragrance that has excellent depth. There is a slight journey once you first spray this fragrance, but once it dries down, I think that the blend of notes was done exquisitely because they're all present. For the most part, the top notes and middle notes and base notes, they all come together beautifully to give you that full, well-rounded effect. At least on my skin, that's what it does. Now, specific to this fragrance, I want to address a couple of things that are being said out there in fragrance communities everywhere about this fragrance, right? The first thing that is said is that it does not really stay on your skin. Well, I find that this will be on my skin without me having to respray it probably 4 to 5 hours. So do I have fragrances that perform much better than that? Absolutely. But this fragrance still does a very, very good job. And I like it that way for the summer. I don't want anything more exaggerated. Now, if I really overspray this fragrance, I can get more than 5 hours. Definitely. The other thing that I want to address as comments that have been made about this fragrance is that it gives people kind of like a hint of Baccarat 540. I don't get Baccarat 540 from this fragrance, honestly, guys, at all. I don't get that from this fragrance. I have other fragrances that I get that from, but not this fragrance. I think that, could you say that they're in the same family, that this is maybe like a distant cousin? Probably. That I could definitely see. But other than that, I don't think that this is like Baccarat 540 or anything like that. The last thing that I do want to address is people have been saying that there's a weird smell in the journey of the fragrance. And I already told you that for me, the journey is pretty consistent and the dry down gives me good depth. But there's people that say that this smells like toilet cleaner, latex gloves. I've heard all types of stuff. I don't get that at all with this fragrance. But again, everybody's different, okay? And everybody's skin and body chemistry is different. So, you know, it depends. So is this a safe blind buy? No, it's not. Because if people, you know, I pay attention. If people are making that type of comment, I'm not just going to go and pick up a fragrance at this price, by the way. When there are comments, you know, so obviously that there's some sort of chemistry where people would say that it smells like latex gloves or toilet cleaner or whatever it is that people are saying. But for me specifically, I can tell you that this is a glorious, beautiful summer fragrance. Greenwich Village, Bond number 9. All right, since we've covered a couple of niche heavy hitters, I figured we would move next to Narciso Rodriguez Fleur Musc for Her. Now, this is a fragrance that's known to be a floral bouquet type of fragrance. But this is a very modern and vibrant fragrance, guys. And I absolutely love this fragrance. So for me, it is like a floral bouquet, but then it has that musk. Oh my goodness. Like, ooh. Guys, if you've never tried this fragrance, if you've never even tried it, like just to smell it, please go into a store or order a sample. This is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I don't know how someone could not love this fragrance. This was a long time ago, but it was a blind buy for me, and it was an immediate love. This, and I have another musk, the one that comes in the white bottle from Narciso also. It's another musk fragrance. I mix the two of them and it's just like, oh my goodness. And then I have other fragrance that I can layer just to add that power, because this is when you spray it, if you overspray it, it's not going to smell like a strong fragrance. But it will give you a little bit more oomph. And in all honesty, me being the oversprayer and intense fragrance person that I am, I do overspray this quite a bit because I like it to last. Now, in overspraying, I can tell you this only lasts on me about 4 hours, and then I have to spray it again. Unless I layer it with like something from Mancera or from other fragrances that I have that are pretty strong. But this for layering, it's just such a beautiful fragrance. And it's not like one of those fragrances that's $200, $300, $400 plus dollars. So I just don't think you can go wrong with this. And for summer, it is such a beautiful fragrance. Get yourself a little travel vial so you can spray this at home, and within 3 hours, just spray yourself again wherever you are. That's what I do with some of these fragrances that are this light for the summer. I just, have a little travel, bottle with me in my purse, and I just pull it out and spray it wherever I am. But this is a truly beautiful, beautiful fragrance. All right, guys, so since we covered Narciso, we are in the designer type of fragrance, right? I'm not going to do all the designers or all the niche all at once, but this next fragrance to me is the quintessential summer fragrance, and it is my most complimented summer fragrance. This truly, to me, is a summer fragrance. And this is the Hermès Un Jardin sur l'Anil. I can never say that correctly, so I apologize if I just butchered that, because I'm pretty sure that I did. But anyway, guys, so here you have it. And as you can see, this fragrance, you can tell that I really love it, because I really, really do. And I want you to know that this is my third bottle. This is not a fragrance that came out last year, so it's been out there for a minute, but this is my third bottle. Now, this is a fragrance that does not this fragrance does not need to be layered. You can just overspray it and you're good, and you're going to smell fantastically, fabulously elegant, sophisticated, just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance for the summer. Let me tell you what the notes in this fragrance are. The notes are grapefruit, green mango, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, tomato, carrot, lotus, bulrush, orange, hyacinth, peony, musk, incense, cinnamon, and labdanum. Labdanum, I hope that's how you say it. I can never say that word. But anyway, now, even though there's so many notes in this fragrance, the depth of this fragrance is surreal. For me, the journey of this fragrance starts and ends the same way. On my skin, I start with all of those notes coming in, right? So I have the top notes coming in, then the middle notes jump in, but the top notes are still present, then the base notes kick in, but the top and the middle are still in there. And at the dry down, I've got everything that they told me that's in there, and then some, by the way, guys, because I smell like some apples. I can't explain it. There is a, again, twist in the tones of the notes in this fragrance, and I'm just sure that Hermès is not sharing all of the notes that have been added in here. There are some, I've identified probably about 3 to 4 tones that I've even discussed with girlfriends. Let me tell you, all of my girlfriends, like my close friends, right? They all have this fragrance. And they have this fragrance because through the years, they smelled this on me, and they were like, they wouldn't even tell me that they were going to go buy it. They would just show up at the next event or the next outing or wherever we went as a group, and they would just show up wearing this fragrance. So we all ended up smelling like this fragrance, but thank God, everybody's body chemistry is different, so there are variations. But all of my friends have this fragrance. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have anything else to say. If you haven't tried this, guys, get yourself a sample. Unless you hate one of these notes, you're going to love this fragrance. To me, this is even like a safe blind buy, unless you do not like one of the notes that I mentioned. Now, when it comes to projection, oh, this fragrance has projection. People will smell you within 3 or 4 feet. If you overspray like me, you're going to get some serious projection. Is this a beast? No, it's not a beast. I don't typically do beasts during the summer, but this is definitely a fragrance that people will know that you're there. They'll remember you. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I knew that she was here. I knew that Arahi was here because I could smell the fragrance. That's this one. My husband absolutely loves it. My daughter, I've had to like, no, you're not going to buy this because all my friends already have it. You're going to buy it too. No, I don't think so. So yeah. Les Jardins sur le Nil, Hermès. Ooh, guys, we're making progress. We only have 6 fragrances left. All right, so let's go to a heavy hitter. And when I say heavy hitter, guys, I'm talking about from the Shooting Stars collection, you already know, Xerjoff, but which one? Ooh. Cruz del Sur 2. If you're Spanish, Cruz del Sur 2. Cruz del Sur 2. Guys, when I tell you, oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I'm pretty sure that some people will say that this fragrance is a beast. And it probably is. And it's probably the only fragrance that I use during the summer that is definitely a presence. Because Xerjoff fragrances tend to be a bit out there, right? But that's what I love about them. But this fragrance right here, oh my gosh. Listen, it is expensive, Xerjoff. Try and find it at one of those fragrance discounters. But please, try it. Let me tell you the notes so that you can decide if this is going to probably be for you or not. So the notes are, ready? Mango. Yes. Guava. I'll take that. Pineapple. Yay. Apple blossom. Hello. Violet leaf. Milk. Dried fruits. Musk. Vetiver. And cedar. When I tell you that this fragrance has incredible depth, but you shouldn't be surprised because if you have Xerjoff as part of your collection or you've ever tried a Xerjoff fragrance, like when I say tried, not that you just tried to smell it one day, you know, in a blotter at some store or whatever. No. That you've tried it, that you've used it on your skin for several days. Any of the Xerjoff fragrances, to me, the depth is unbelievable, which means that the way that they blend these fragrances is surreal. This is, for me, one of those cases where you get what you pay for. And that doesn't always apply to fragrances because there's a whole bunch of fragrances that are really inexpensive, that are really exquisitely well blended. And I think, my goodness, how did they even do this? You know, there's a whole bunch of fragrances like that. A video to come on that, by the way. But this fragrance for the summer is everything. If you want to smell like a powerhouse, like no nonsense, here I am. I'm here for this wedding. I'm here for this event of any type. I'm here to have lunch with you. I'm here to hear what you have to say. Yes, I'm here for you to take me to dinner. Yes, I am looking good. I know I'm looking good. This is the fragrance. This is the fragrance. This is the fragrance that says, I've arrived. I'm here. You ready for me? This fragrance. I'm not even going to say anything else. What I am encouraging you to do, if you have not ever taken a sniff of this fragrance, you need to get yourself a sample. Just go get it and you will be so happy that you did. If you don't like it, probably it's one of these notes because the notes here are pretty prominent. Xerjoff does not play. When they list a note, the tones, everything is so well done that everything blends beautifully and all of the notes are present, and you can tell throughout the body development of the fragrance that the notes are coming in, they're coming out. It's just a beautiful thing. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything more. Cruz del Sur, Xerjoff. All right. So spoiler alert, guys, there's another Xerjoff. Right now, stop and go to the comments and tell me, do you know what is the other Xerjoff that I have on the list? I'm not going to bring it up now. I'm going to do a couple of other fragrances and then I'm going to come back to that Xerjoff because that one, oh my goodness, it's like when I wear that, I'm in summer joy, but I'm not going to spoil. So please just stop for a minute and tell me What other Xerjoff do you think is on this list? Anyway, all right, guys. So I've been talking throughout this whole video about no beast mode for the summer. Well, there's an exception. There is a beast on this list, and it's none other than Lamar by Kajal. Guys, first of all, let's just like really appreciate for a minute the beauty of this bottle. I'm trying to get the camera to focus so you can really, oh my gosh, look at that right there. And then while we're there, look at the cap. Guys, this is a fragrance. If you haven't tried this fragrance, I think this came out, was it 2019 or 2020, one of those. And oh my, I can't speak highly enough of this fragrance. This is number 2 complimented on my list because this is such a beast mode fragrance that when you wear it, people are going to know that you're wearing this fragrance. Like, and they will approach you and they will ask you, what are you wearing? Or they'll ask you things like, you know, it's I think one of the few fragrances that I have in my collection where people will actually identify the note clearly. They'll come up to me and they'll be like, are you wearing pineapple something? Like what is that fragrance? Like, it smells incredible. You smell so delicious. They'll actually use those words. And honestly, guys, let me just tell you the notes of this fragrance. If you haven't heard of the Kajal fragrances, you need to look into it. But if there's one that I want to encourage you for the summer to seriously consider picking up, I don't want to tell you to do a blind buy because I feel a certain kind of way about blind buys. I'm the type of person that if I like the notes of a fragrance and I really feel strongly about a fragrance, I'm going to blind buy it. I'm not going to wait for the sample to come in to try it. You know what? There are fragrances that I do that with, especially if a fragrance is above $300. I'm probably going to do that. Most of my Xerjoffs, I had samples. And Bond, like there's certain fragrances that honestly, guys, my creeds, but there are fragrances that I can't even bring myself to do the right thing, the responsible thing, which is to try samples and then determine, try it on your body for several days. But honestly, guys, this fragrance right here, oh my gosh, let me tell you the notes. Pineapple, red berries, apple, cardamom, coriander, Bulgarian and Turkish rose. Oh my goodness. Moss, jasmine, magnolia, musk, amber, cashmere wood, and cedar. Please tell me in the comment section below if you have this fragrance. If you have this fragrance or you had it, just tell me how you feel about it because I'm curious. Like, I am so in love with this fragrance. I can't imagine that someone doesn't like it, but of course someone is not going to like it because that's the beauty of being who we are. We're all different. But that being said, I'm really curious. Have you tried Lamar? Have you tried Lamar from Kajal? This fragrance is exquisitely perfect for the summer. If you're in a resort on vacation and it's summer, of course, and it's humid, it's hot, and at night you're going to dinner and you put on your really cute little white summer dress or whatever it is, or a jumpsuit, whatever it is that you're wearing, and you top it with this, oh my goodness. I will tell you though, if you're like in Thailand or if you're in one of the islands in the Caribbean where there tend to be a lot of mosquitoes, I can tell you that this fragrance is so the real deal that they will come for you. So what you may want to do is put on one of those sprays against them, which they typically don't smell very good, but I don't use any of those sprays that have DEET, which are the really strong ones. So just take one of those sprays and then just put this on top, overspray this. It'll kill that smell, but it will take care of the mosquitoes trying to bite you. Anyway, guys, so let me tell you a little bit about the sillage, the projection, and the depth of this fragrance. So needless to say, from everything that I've said, the sillage of this fragrance is pretty strong. It is definitely, this is definitely a beast, okay? There's no two ways about it. If it's not a beast for you, please let me know in the comment section below. Listen, this is not even a fragrance where I have to put on like a cream that smells like pineapple or one of the notes and make sure that I'm layering, you know, similar smells to make sure that the fragrance performs. No, this fragrance will perform, period. You hug someone with this fragrance, they're going to smell like Lamar until they wash those clothes. Like all of my husband's shirts, every time I'm wearing this, they smell like Lamar. So they have to go to the cleaners immediately after. That's this type of fragrance. Now, the projection of this fragrance, oh my goodness, they can smell you coming, going. Everything related to a beast fragrance applies when it comes to sillage, depth, and definitely projection. And it'll last on you, let me just say this, it'll last on you as long as you want it to last. If you want it for 8 hours, okay. If you want it for 10, okay. And if you overspray like I do, be very careful because during the summer, this can become quite overpowering for those around you. Anyway, guys, I think I've said enough. Lamar from Kajal. Hey, so have you figured out what is the next Xerjoff I'm going to talk about? Should I do it now? No, let's do another fragrance before we do that next one. All right, so the next fragrance that I want to talk about is from the Les Exclusifs collection, of course, Chanel. None other, guys, than Beige. Now, this is my second bottle, okay? This fragrance right here, oh my God, let me just tell you the notes, okay? Freesia flowers, frangipani, honey, and hawthorn. This is another fragrance that I easily will take on vacation because this is such an easy to travel with type of bottle. This is not a travel size. This is a regular Les Exclusifs size. But this fragrance is so incredibly versatile, right? Like I can use this in the morning, I can use it at night, I can layer it. I can bring two different fragrances, use this one in the morning and then use this one at night to bring that extra oomph to a light fragrance that I brought, you know, for night occasions. It's just a very beautiful, beautiful fragrance. This is, oh my goodness, guys, this smells so incredible. This oh my goodness, smells unbelievable. So there's a sweetness to it that's tropical at the same time. I don't know if you can understand that, but there is a sweetness to it with a tropical tone to it. That's the way that I should say it. And I really believe that it's the mix of the frangipani with the honey. There is definitely, yeah. This fragrance, guys, oh my goodness. I have gotten so many compliments with this fragrance on planes, at airports, at the reception of a resort, because I really, really love to travel during the summer with this fragrance. So I have this beautiful silver colored caftan that I wear, and I don't know what is it, but it's become a thing. I wear that and then I wear this fragrance and I always get compliments. I get compliments about everything that I'm wearing when I'm using this fragrance because fragrances create a je ne sais quoi type of ambiance, right? And this one is one of those fragrances that creates an air around you. So people immediately know you've walked into the room. They are admiring your outfit, your shoes, your makeup, your nails. I mean, they just want to talk about everything, not knowing that the secret is this fragrance. If you've never tried, and I've tried several of the Les Exclusifs through the years. There's one that's called Corcoral or something like that. There's this one, and there's another one that I can't remember the name right now. And I'm done with those bottles, but this one, this is not, like I told you, this is not my first bottle, and it is definitely a fragrance that I highly recommend, that I absolutely love. So let me tell you, this fragrance has a sillage that is, I would say, moderate. So when you spray yourself with it and you are having a conversation with someone, or you stopped at some area and then you walk away, people will definitely, there is a trail. This fragrance definitely leaves a trail, especially if you overspray. The other thing, when it comes to projection, people will definitely, when you walk into a room, I would say 6 feet, people will smell you. People will definitely smell you. And that's without me layering. That's just applying this one and, you know, overspraying a bit. You have to be careful. Like, I'm used to overspraying and I'm used to intense fragrances, and, you know, but if you're one of those people that you're totally into like a Micallef type of fragrance, which are very demure and very smooth, and you don't want to overspray this fragrance, because this fragrance can really fool you. This can really become quite a powerhouse if you overspray it. And I find that to be the case with all the Chanel Les Exclusives. Anyway, guys, enough said about this. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend that you try it. Beige from Chanel. All right, guys, so this next fragrance, I figured we're going to cover it, even though I did an honorary mention for 2 other fragrances that are pretty much as iconic as this one. People, of course, have a lot of opinions about this fragrance, but I happen to absolutely love this fragrance. And no, I was not going to leave it off the list. I'm sorry. Creed, Aventus for Her. Oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, can you see here? Can you see the juice moving in there and how low it is? This is probably my 3rd bottle. This is a fragrance that I have put on the summer list, but when I do a winter list, it's going to be on the list. When I do a fall list, it's going to be on the list. When I do a spring list, it's going to be on the list, because this is a fragrance that is a basic staple in my fragrance wardrobe. This is a fragrance that I can use alone. This is a fragrance that I love to layer with so many things, so versatile. And this fragrance, the quality of the juice in here, oh my goodness. I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you're a fragrance lover, so you've at least sniffed this, right? But just in case there's someone here who's just starting their fragrance journey, please get yourself a sample of this. Just get yourself a sample. Go into a Neiman, a Saks, one of those stores, and get yourself a sample and try it. Like, not just smell it, try it. Let me tell you guys what the notes are for those of you who haven't tried it, so that'll tell you if you may or may not be interested. Green apple, bergamot, lemon, patchouli, pink pepper, violet, musk, rose, sandalwood, blackcurrant, peach, amber, lilac, lang-lang, styrax. This is not a fragrance that you need to overspray. If you want to overspray, you can go ahead, but face the consequences, because this can definitely get hyped up there. I would not call this a true beast, because what I love also about this fragrance is that I can determine, what do I want to do with it today? I can spray it and have like a normal experience, or I can overspray it and take it to the next level, or I can layer it, and oh my goodness. Maybe I should do a video with just the different options that I can give you for layering this fragrance that will just blow your mind. There's so many things that you can do with this fragrance. I don't know how they did it, especially with all those notes, but I can tell you the depth of this fragrance is surreal. After it goes through the top notes opening, and then it goes into the middle, and then the base starts to come in, they're all together, giving me a depth that is exceptional. This is an exceptionally well blended fragrance, in my opinion. I know people have many of opinions about this fragrance, like they do about Baccarat 540, and like they do about Delina and other iconic fragrances. That's why they're iconic, because, you know, people are going to talk about them. But this fragrance right here, I don't think you can go wrong. This has, to me, a moderate sillage, though. It has a moderate sillage, but it lasts on me for hours. But it has a moderate sillage. I don't think that they designed this to be... I honestly don't think that Creed really likes to create fragrances that have you know, an extended sillage, like, you know, something where you walk away and they're going to be smelling like the whole room is going to be smelling like you for hours. I don't think that that's the aesthetic of the fragrance house. I'm pretty sure it is not. So that's not what they're about. But I will tell you, because I spray it or I layer it the way I do, I get this to last as many hours as I want it to, you know, within moderation, probably 6 to 8 hours. Then when it comes to projection, again, depending on if I overspray it or not, I'll get a certain amount of projection. But a safe projection with this fragrance, I would say, is about 2 feet away. 2 to 3 feet away with a normal spray, you can definitely, they'll know that you're coming. Okay, this is definitely a true unisex fragrance. My husband has his own bottle, and it's just a beautiful experience. Give it a shot if you haven't tried it yet. Aventus for her. All right, guys. So I don't know if you guys have been counting, but we're down to the last 2 fragrances, and my camera has stopped 3 times while filming this video. But anyway, I am going to go to the next fragrance, and I'm not going to cover the second Xerjoff because it's the only fragrance house that I have here that I have 2 fragrances of. So that should tell you a lot about how I feel about Xerjoff. Yeah, but let's talk about MFK 724. Oh my. If you have not tried this fragrance just for summer purposes, oh my gosh, you need to go get yourself a sample. If you want to blind buy it, blind buy it. That's how strongly I feel about this fragrance, guys. Let me tell you the notes. So the notes here are sandalwood, Calabrian bergamot, Egyptian jasmine, sweet pea, orange, white musk, and aldehydes. Now, let me just start immediately by saying, because this is something that I've heard from so many different people. There are people that experience an overload of aldehydes, of the aldehydes note, upon using this fragrance, upon testing it and using it on their skin. I, of course, don't experience any of that. What I experience is an exquisite summer fragrance. So for me, this is a highly addictive fragrance. This is a musky floral fragrance. But although like the Narciso Rodriguez, all of my Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, I consider to be musky floral. Some of them may have roses or other stuff, but to me, to the core, they're musky florals. There's no comparison to this fragrance. They're really, guys, this is such an exquisitely beautiful fragrance. I have to get a sniff. There's a cleanness, there's a freshness, there is, do you know what this says to me? This is like, I am calm, cool, and collected. Yeah, you're doing all your drama and all your thing, but I'm calm, cool, and collected. That's this fragrance for me. This is, oh my gosh, intelligently sophisticated woman. That's what this smells like to me. And it is just such the perfect fragrance for summer. And this is not a fragrance that I would limit to like a summer vacation. I would use this to any summer outing. A lot of people, I've also heard people say that they only like this for during the day. No, I don't agree. Not for me. I've used it during the day. I've used it at night. I've used it with a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and sneakers during the day. I've used it with a full-on summer beautiful outfit, like all glammed up. This is just beautiful. This is, again, the type of fragrance, calm, cool, and collected. You are going to make it whatever you want it to be for a specific time. I don't have anything else to say, guys. I am telling you, this is a beautiful fragrance. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. MFK 724. All right, guys. So did you leave me a comment telling me which Xerjoff fragrance you think is the one that I'm going to close this video with? Now, you know that whatever fragrance I'm closing this video with is a special fragrance for me. You already know I love Xerjoff, but Hello. This one right here. Accento Overdose. And an overdose it is. It's an overdose of happiness. It's not a happy fragrance. It just makes me feel happy. It makes me feel grateful. It makes me feel appreciative that I could pick this up. It's just an exquisitely done fragrance. Ooh. Ooh la la. Oh my goodness, guys. This fragrance is perfection. This is perfection. So the other day I was watching a video. I can't remember, one of those ladies that I watch that are so awesome. And they were talking about mind games. I think it was Checkmate. And they called it a masterpiece. And when they used that word, I thought to myself, really? Because I think that Accento Overdose from Xerjoff is the ultimate masterpiece. But I'm going to try Checkmate. I haven't picked up anything from Mind Games. I have 2 fragrances on my radar, but they're so expensive. I don't think they're ever going to make it to a discount or anything, so I'm going to have to bite the bullet and purchase them. But this fragrance, guys, it's going to be hard to find another fragrance that I can say masterpiece. This to me is a fragrance, guys, that if you have not tried it, you definitely need to find a way to try it. And it's not easy, at least in my experience, to find Xerjoff samples. If I am able to find any samples, I will put them in the description box below so that you don't have to, blind buy this. But when I tell you this fragrance is everything, let me tell you what the notes of this fragrance are. It is green accord, Egyptian jasmine, lily of the valley, Bulgarian rose, eucalyptus, pine, a combination of fruits, and aldehydes. But guys, the way that this fragrance has been blended, let me just tell you right now, the depth is medium. It's not an exceptional depth. So at the end, do you really get all of the notes all well blended? Are you getting all of that together? No. This fragrance has a journey. Like, it is a complete journey. From the moment that you first spray, you're going to get it. For me, what I get immediately, are the fruits and part of that green accord. And then it goes into the florals, only to then drop me into the base notes. It is a journey. It is an exquisite journey, guys. This fragrance is absolutely fabulous. This is also one of my top 5 from Xerjoff, period. Not just from the Xerjoffs that I have, which I can't remember how many I have, but I have quite a bit. But then there's a whole bunch of Xerjoffs that I haven't picked up because I think that they're good, but they weren't like driving me crazy. And these fragrances are pretty expensive. So when I pick up a Xerjoff, you better believe that it's something that I'm like, wow, I am blown away. I'm picking it up. I have to have it. And then I use it. I definitely use it, right? But this one is probably number 2 or number 3 within my top 5. So that should tell you everything. And I'm not going to tell you what my number 1 is because there's another video coming on that. But this fragrance is definitely up there. You can't go wrong. The bottle is beautiful. But like I always say, packaging does matter to a certain extent. But honestly, guys, the juice is what I'm looking for. And when I tell you the juice is everything, the juice is surreal. So when it comes to sillage, most Xerjoff fragrances for me have great sillage. I walk away, there is a trail, and the trail will stay for a while, definitely. When it comes to projection, this fragrance gives me a moderate projection. So I would say about 3 to 4 feet, 2 to 3 feet, more around the 3 feet mark, 2 to 3 feet mark. If I overspray, then is when I go into that, 3 foot, 4 foot type of range. But if I just do a regular spray, and the beauty of this fragrance, I have used this fragrance to go to the office, but I don't overspray. I've used this fragrance during the morning. I don't overspray because all Xerjoff fragrances, in my opinion, if you overspray, get ready because they're designed to be a powerhouse. So yeah, but if I overspray, like at night, if I'm doing a date, I don't like to layer this one very much. But I have layered it, but I just don't think that it needs any layering. This fragrance is such a beauty. Not that if you layer it means that the fragrance is not good. No, it's just that I don't think that this is a fragrance that you need to layer, or that you're going to get. It just doesn't get any better than this for me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if you haven't tried this, guys, I am telling you, give it a try. I'm going to have to spray this right now because, guys, this is like that good. Let's go ahead and spray some. Oh, and then, of course, you guys know. Look at this. You see that? Oh. Oh. Oh, my goodness, guys. This is just so exquisite. Oh. Oh, my goodness. So, so beautiful. All right, guys, so we have reached the end of the video. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that I was able to provide enough of a variety, not just between designer and niche, but also, you know, price points, right? And variety also in notes for different fragrances that you may want to consider to add for your summer collection. But a lot of these fragrances, as I said before, a lot of these fragrances are not just good for the summer. I like to have versatility in everything that I purchase. I need to feel that I can use it during multiple seasons, maybe not all 4 seasons, but at least 2 to 3 seasons for an expensive bottle of fragrance. And I also need to feel that I can customize it and use it, layer it to a certain extent, or be able to use it in you know, during the day, and then also be able to use it during the night. So bottom line is, I hope that I was able to give you enough of a variety for you to do your research and determine if there's any of these fragrances that you would like to pick up. Please let me know if you own any of these fragrances and what you think about them. I'm really curious to know. I always like to talk to people about fragrances and how they feel about it. And it's fascinating to me to hear the different opinions, especially when they're so different than mine. I just think that that's fascinating and fabulous. That's part of the fun of the whole experience. So let me know, and also let me know what videos you're interested in as it relates to fragrances, and I'll make sure to put it together and deliver it for you. Anyway, thank you so much for visiting your channel today. If this was your first time here, I hope that you will consider subscribing. To the rest of you, thank you so much for the love and the support. It really means the world to me. And I will see you all in the next video.